Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to ask a question, and this question I'm directing to our subscribers from Mount Kenya. What do you think is the level of sync of messages from the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua? Because today I want us to relook how a mission that collapsed in respect to a recent survey, a recent Twitter poll that was done, and that Twitter poll showed that Rigathi Gachagua's popularity in terms of messaging has dropped drastically and is actually flat. Now, this is something that I'm not so shocked about because myself, I was in Embu. And I remember speaking to some few business people around Embu town, a gentleman who threw his hand in disapproval, telling me who is Rigathi, and really showing that really something is not happening. Now, what I want to look at is about why the messaging, why is messages have gone flat and popularity is not that which was expected. Immediately, let me just take you back a bit. Immediately after swearing in, President William Ruto gave his deputy a responsibility to make sure that all Jubilee supporters from Mount Kenya, they camp to UDA, and they were given, and I think Rigathi gave them until December. But that did not happen. And after the January, during the January cabinet retreat in Nanyuki, the president gave his deputy more responsibilities on spearheading the coffee and the tea reforms in the region. And then somewhere mid-February, he gave himself another responsibility of leading the illicit brew war. All these were what I want to call kalongolongo projects that he gave himself, put in his own shoulders, so that he could galvanize Mount Kenya popularity and be seen as a man that is really having the issues at stake. But that is far from reality because it seems that mission has collapsed. And this is a bit of my 6 PowerPoints behind the scenario of Rigathi's popularity going down. There is this video clip of an elderly woman crying, saying, "We were cheated." And I want you to listen to that because it is my first reason. And this is the lack of the social withdrawal of the social protection funding. The social protection funding is a very critical intervention in the community. And I want you to take some seconds and listen to this granny here.
Tũngĩekire atĩa kĩanjĩkire kũnyita matharu ũguo gũtirĩ ũndũ tũngĩekire tondũ ona waku waheire oro ũcio nyamũ ĩyo ya gĩthaka ona wakorwo waheire wa Mũigai nĩ mũnyaka warĩ naguo ũkĩaga ngoro yaku kũrutithia wĩra mũno. Rĩu tũgũikara ũguo tũrĩ na thĩna mũingĩ mũno wa ngoro na wĩrĩirwo kĩndũ nĩ ũkũheo na ũtekũheo tũkoragwo ũkuĩte mũrigo mũritũ ũtangĩkuĩka wĩ gwa thirikari na ndĩragũteithia. Thirikari ĩno ĩikarĩte gatagatĩ-inĩ kayo na ndĩrateithia. Rĩu nginya mwaka ũthire mĩaka ĩrĩa yeranĩirwo mĩaka 5 tũgũthiĩte ũguo tũgũtũra tũtigũikara ũguo Ngai witũ tũgarũrĩre bũrũri.
That lady is speaking very deep. Withdrawal of this critical funding has affected the senior members of the society across the country. And I can tell you that you can play around with the minds of the youth and joke with it as much as we want. But for this elderly team, I think we needed to consider them. There was a promise for them to get their disbursement before the first week of June. But today is date 7, nothing has been seen. The second thing that is behind this scenario is constantly demonizing media of the last general election. And what has worked for him, why this has worked against him, is the media continues to have the vitriol against the deputy president. You can see whenever, and even when you keep on attacking them, then really, how are they going to have an objective reporting about yourself or the office of the deputy president? You've already projected yourself as a man who is against the society. And that is profiling journalists and media houses. But why that has not worked well is the biggest revolution going on in this country, the social media, the TikTok revolution. The TikTok team has emerged as the next frontier for the young people to vent their frustrations and tell of those in power about what exactly they think should be done. And the social media has not spared anyone. Even today they are very bold. I want you to listen to this very bold lady telling the leadership about what exactly is the problem.
Mr. William Kipchirchir Samoei Arap Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, and your administration, we the people, aka your employers, want to have a chat with you, our employees. Last year, mliomba wa Kenya watukufu kazi. We did not force the job on you. Mlitubeg, mkatubembeleza na promises kibao, tukawapea job. Leo hii, mmeturuka kipetero kiyesu. You and your administration have forgotten that you are in power to represent the will of the people in accordance with Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya. Kenyans have collectively and loudly rejected the Finance Bill 2023. Mama mboga, wasewanduthi, professionals, and even the clergy wamekataa hii kitu. Lakini mmetianta maskioni amtuski. Na pia ni kama mmesahau that the legislature represents the will of the people and not the executive. Mnatembea mkianza vitisho baridi. Unazunguka kila mahali ukilia serikali haina pesa. Yet you and your administration are getting salary increments and increased budgetary allocations at the expense of the hustlers who employed you. At this point, it legit feels like you're pushing to highly tax us so that y'all can keep living lavishly and extravagantly kwa bili yetu. Alafu adding salt to injury, you now have the audacity to flex the power we have given you by telling us to our faces that mtapitisha your punitive finance bill, tupende tusipende. Yo, Mr. President, first of all, mnatoa wapi nguvu ya kuongelesha your employers hivyo? Secondly, when and where did Kenyans give you the power to subvert our will and flex on us like that? In case it's not yet clear, we want to develop our country. The problem is that we don't trust you and your administration to manage our taxes and deliver services. A majority of us are of the opinion that you and your administration will use our taxes to continue living large while the rest of us perish. And we have good reasons. Mr. President, do you remember swearing that electricity costs in 2023 will not increase? Tell us why KPLC wanaongeza bei ya stima kuliko vile wadaku huongeza chumvi kwa story. Do you remember promising to stop government wastage by having a lean government? Explain to us why you bloated the government by appointing 50 CASs against PSC's advisory. Do you remember saying that once you put down your Bible, you will deal with corruption? Mr. President, why then have you appointed people with a history of heavy corruption cases to serve in your government? Kaini mkijua, by the way, that the same hustlers who employed you are the same ones with the power to fire you. This generation did not come to play, and we will push for your impeachment if you keep going down this road. And I doubt you want to be remembered as the first impeached president of Kenya. So, Mr. President, please, act correct.
Immediately, Maina Njenga was arrested, and Maina Njenga was to be presented in the court, that is in the DCI. The youths that were around DCI headquarters, the truth here is, it was an unmobilized crowd. It is normally mobilized. And that mobilized crowds, for your information, majority of those young people came from Nairobi here. They were mobilized within. Even today, I think I was interacting with some two people who were telling me I was at DCI headquarters and I'm wondering where the discussion about Mungiki came through. But that was misused, and Rigathi Gachagua will then go to Thika in a church service and say that the young people that were mobilized to show solidarity to the Maina Njenga are members of a select group known as Mungiki. And I'm like, we have the intelligence, we have the state machinery. If it is true that could be a revival of such a group, then it can be intercepted before even it reaches to a point of someone getting presented in court. And that population profiling is actually a very big anger, because when you're saying the young people who don't have jobs and they really subscribe to the ideology of, supporting men and gender or those around men and gender, especially the Laikipia youth or so. So you cannot, and it's not right. While you want to use it to wipe the emotions of parents that your kids are being misused, but the truth of the matter here is you are profiling them. And the danger in that profiling them is because the security officers will gonna use advantage. It's true. There are quite a number of young people that have been arrested in the areas of Nyeri, Murang'a, and Laikipia, and even Nyandarua. And the police are using that as a loophole to extort money from young people that are members of that, maybe, of some illicit group that is emerging. So it is not true. And that profiling is already creating bit of that anger. The other thing that I want us to point out is Raila Uhuru vitriol has changed his messaging. I think Rigathi is still stuck in the past. We won the elections, we defeated them, it was them versus us. But that has eroded the messaging on what we are going to do for the people. I would expect that whenever the deputy president is speaking in Murang'a, in Nyeri, and those counties, instead of spending time on saying what we are going to do and we are going to neutralize the milkman on illicit brew, you should be saying what government has done. We promised we were going to construct road X from place X to Y, and we've started it and it's going on. We promised we were going to do this and that, and it started it and it's going on. So that is not being seen. And he has lost that kind of euphoria that he had created as fighting for the people. Because what the Kenyan people want to listen to now is not about Uhuru or Raila. It is about what is in it for us, for the people that are currently in government. Even Kenyan people know that you are the ones on power. So those veterans are not doing anything to help us get to understand. The second two aspects is the death of devolution. Devolution is dying. And devolution was really supporting our villages. I am so much disappointed by the fact that the Ruto administration has decided that it was a mistake for Kenyans to go vote in 2010 for the devolution, because there are very constant, very visible signs that devolution is going back to its deathbed. And one of the signs is the funds, the capitation, or rather the disbursement that has been delayed. I think May, April, we are getting to June, March, April, May is still a talk going on. They were promised that it's going to be delivered on this Friday. We are waiting. MCS are asking for financial autonomy so that they can do their oversight roles well. But that has not been granted. And in fact, even their salaries have been downgraded. I'm not against it, but it should cut across. Honestly, I've just tried to be in the MCS shoes. I'm not saying because I want to go and vie, but I'm just being objective here. They were earning 150,000. Then it was scaled down to 86,000. Even if it's you, it doesn't. MCS now earning 86,000 from 150. What does that tell you? Who is going to vie to be an MCA? Then let's just get it. Who will even vie to be an MCA? And when MCAs are getting those peanuts, they are at the discretion of the governor. The governor is getting close to 1 million. MCA is getting 86,000. You know, do you want to expect an 86,000 person to oversight a governor? When governor kimpatia 200,000 story measure. And because money is not going to the counties cannot do projects and people are not feeling the government. You know, there is a very selfish thought here of I want to concentrate resources at the top so that I can take credit for whatever is going on. But that is very selfish because the society is going to judge you in terms of what has been done for the people. Lastly, I see agriculture empty talk. The talk on agriculture is very empty. The milkman, coffee and that. It is just a talk that is not there and people are not feeling that there are changes. Ladies and gentlemen, do you need interior design solutions? As I finish, allow me to introduce to you Kwango Art and Design. Kwango Art and Design are amazing fellows on designs. And what you can do is you can contact them. Whether you need designs for residential or you need residential or commercial houses, be it on the tiling, the ceiling, the desks, doing the walls, and you know, any sort of a design that you need, the kitchen, partitioning, you know, cutting, fitting, container fabricated homes, wardrobes, wall, floor tilting, all that. You need to check out and contact these gentlemen here. The number is +254 710 444 353. 07 +254 710 444 353. Kwango Art and Design. That is your best space to get design solutions.